What is up, gang? It is I, Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro.
Yay!
And today we are going to do a TA update on Bitcoin. No news today. We're just looking at the charts because I've got to draw your attention to some rather important developments here. And before we get started, let me make this clear that this is not to be considered financial advice. No, not at all. This is just commentary and my opinion of what I think is going on, and we're just going to talk about the possibilities, the probabilities of what could happen next as we see some rather important developments happening with the chart. All right, so here on the 4-hour chart, the first thing that we notice right here that we need to discuss is this action right along the 200 EMA. There it is right there. Let's just zoom in and get a closer picture here of what is happening so we can kind of break this down. Look at this, guys. This is amazing. So we see that Bitcoin has come up with this stochastic rise all the way to the top. We see the fast line, the blue line, curling over, looking like it wants to cross over. This looks like a peak here, which coincides with the peak up above on the price line. What do we see here? We see a green candle that wicked up, touched, and went up and beyond the 200 EMA, exponential moving average, and then it came back down. So we did close out with a green candle, but then we formed a red candle right after. We're in the middle of that 4-hour candle. It touched exactly on the 200 EMA and got rejected. And then it's coming back down, and we touched on the red dashed line. Oh boy, fireworks right here. So we touched down and bounced back up, but this is a red candle, and coinciding with this stochastic peak that could cross over, it's looking like to me that we're going to experience rejection and go back below the red dash line. Now, we see on the VPVR, which stands for Volume Profile Visible Range, that we have the peak volume node that's right at the red dash line on this visible range. And we have a great big node down below that at the point of control price that's about, let's get the exact number, 19,100. So according to the chart right now as we speak, it looks like momentum is heading downward, and we may violate this line and head back down to the point of control price. Something that I always point out is that we must look at the MACD histogram, where we notice that we had some nice peaks and valleys here, and they are declining. Notice that as time goes down, or time goes on, the peaks are getting smaller. This little time that we experience above the zero line to produce this set of green bars on the histogram was pretty small comparing to the last few that we have had. And now the current one that we are sitting at a peak with dark green candles on the histogram right here, it looks like it's ready to peak out and then turn back towards the zero line where it could go down below. Now, we've had this experience, extended period of time of side banding. All of this side banding going on right now. Pretty boring action, and we don't know if we're going to have a serious break outside of this box of side banding. And the probability is that we're going to continue side banding for a little while until something big happens where we get a bit of news. For example, a report of the interest rates. When we see the feds come out and announce the November rate hike, it's probably going to cause us to have a more serious move that could bring us outside of this box. Now, if it's 50 points or lower, we could boom out of this box to the positive. If it's 75 points, which I think it will be, my opinion, I'm thinking that it could send us out of this box where we go downstairs and head for the next lower volume node, which could be right here at that 18,400 node. Now, we're going to have to zoom out and go to the 1-day chart to see if there are any clues and what the overall momentum on the bigger picture is. So here we are on the 1-day chart. And this looks a little bit better, but not so good. We do see that the fast line and the slow line on the stochastic, we had a fake out right there where it looked like a crossover was going to happen, but then it opened back up and is pointing upwards. So are the oscillators on the MACD. You see that's pointing upward right there. Let's scrunch this down a little bit, and we see that the histogram is just starting out on the green. It's jumping back up with a dark green bar right there. But I'm thinking that with the 200 EMA coming down, actually this is the 50 EMA on this chart, this orange line right here, that's the 50 EMA. And notice that we had several little rejections here where we tried to make it back up to the 50 EMA and it bounced back down, including this little green candle that didn't quite make it up, and it looks like the momentum is shrinking, which tells me that this positive action here could be a head fake. This action here is getting smaller and smaller as we approach the 0 line. So it's hard to tell. It's a 50-50 here of whether or not we'll jump out of this with positive action or if we go downstairs and stay below that red dashed line. And this could continue on for a few weeks until we get to that next rate hike announcement. So 50-50 on this 1-day chart. Not much that we can really tell here. And all I have to say is that I don't trust this bullish looking stochastic. I don't trust it. I think we could get a fake out just like here we were moving up and we went bearish. We crossed over bearish, but then it was a fake out and it went back upstairs. But notice the declining price in accordance with the stochastic peaks. Now we had these peaks here, which each time we went to a stochastic peak upstairs, we look at the price and we were hitting higher highs. So here's a higher high here where we went above this one here, and then we had a higher high here. As this parallel trading channel, we had an uptrend going on, a higher high there and a higher high here, and then we reversed the direction. And now we are printing lower highs. So on this next peak right here, we had a lower high upstairs on this one. And then at this peak here, we had another lower high right here. On this little peak, it looks like overall a rejection at the 50 EMA, and that's why I don't trust that we are going to come out of this stochastic and boom upwards. And again, we see that the overall peaks are moving downwards on the MACD histogram and also with the oscillators on the MACD. All right, so let's jump to the 1 week chart so we can get some clues there in the bigger picture. We'll scrunch this down, and this is very interesting indeed. This looks kind of bullish, kind of bearish. It's kind of a 50-50 again. Let's look on the evidence for the bullish. We do have a crossover right here. See that crossover? So it looks like the oscillators are pointing upwards, but will that hold? Well, it didn't hold here and make it up to the overbought zone, which is above the 80 line. We did not continue on after this reversal as we were pointing upward, and we had another head fake right here and moved back down. So overall, it looks like we have declining peaks on the stochastic ever since June here. So look at this, just kind of headed downward. So this little crossover that looks bullish right here could end up being a head fake, and we could continue back down here and languish in the oversold zone, which is below the 20 line. Now, the other thing that doesn't give me much confidence is that we are hanging on by a thin thread to this huge volume node at the red dash line, which is centered at the price of 19,700 and change. Now, will we hang on to that or not? We could, But as soon as we get that negative news coming from the feds about another 75-point base rate hike, we could fall out of this. And if we fall out of that, there's nowhere to go as far as what the volume nodes are telling us. So if we fall out of this, we're going to be headed into this slip zone. That's what I like to call it, where there's not a lot of popular trading volume going on at the price points after we fall out of this node right here, okay? And so then, of course, we've got these huge nodes down below that fall down to the 12,000, down to 10,000, and then the point of control on this visible range is at around 9,000. So you do have people that claim that the bottom is in. They say that we're going to continue side banding in this area until all of this action with the rate hikes and the recession is over, at which point we'll just boom out of here. You have the other folks like Gare Soloway, who's talking about the fact that we're probably going to correct and come downstairs to this action with these humongous nodes down here in the sub 12,000 range before we bounce out and then head into the next bull market after that point. It's a 50-50. I think both arguments hold water. And overall, I lean bearish, bullish overall, but bearish for the moment, for the next several months, because of the severity of economic conditions throughout the world, because of the fact that we have quantitative tightening that continues to go on, which pulls money out of the markets. And my big question is, where is the money going to come from to catapult BTC out of this side banding range to avoid another capitulation? I don't know, and I could be wrong. There could be several different factors at play, or maybe institutional investors that are going to come in and pile money into Bitcoin that pull it out of this side banding. And then again, the economic conditions could continue to drag the price down as we see the DXY at 112 and not looking like it wants to slow down anytime soon. With the feds printing money and doing tightening at the same time, they're contradicting themselves. And they are going to worsen economic conditions and deepen the recession. And because of that, this overall trend that we see with the MACD oscillators peaking out and making lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, this overall trend is still moving down. And we could stay down here for a while and head south again, because this is not the deepest that it's ever been. We've gone below that off the chart here in the past, and that could give us the possibility of this action going downwards into the lower price levels. But nobody knows. I don't know, and I'm not going to make a bold prediction and say that we're going to fall off of that volume node and head back down to the 10 to 12,000 or lower range. Nobody can tell you that. It's a waiting game, and unfortunately, we can't trust anybody's opinion. And the people who claim that they're solidly sure, I think they're just trying to get video views and get you to join their paid memberships because they have a crystal ball. And nobody has a crystal ball. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. Now, let's jump to the 1 month chart and see what it looks like, and then we'll wrap it up. So here we are on the 1 month chart. Let's scrunch this down, move this out a little bit. Get a nice little picture here, and now we can really see these volume nodes that are at play here. Here's the point of control price at the red dash line, and look at all this volume below, and look at how much trading volume that there was at these lower ranges all the way down to 3,500 in comparison to what we have up above and what we had with the previous bull run up here. That doesn't look so good. So it's like small, medium, large, huge. And this tells me that there is a possibility we could continue on. Now, the last bit of evidence, we notice that the indicators here on the stochastic, the fast line and the slow line, are running parallel and still pointing downward. And they don't look like they're wanting to curl over and cross and start to move back up yet. And so that says that there is a possibility that we could fall off of this and head downstairs into this thick volume range that goes into 12,000 and below. And we see here, look at these peaks on the oscillators here with the MACD. Here's a high and there's a higher high. And since then, it's just going downward. And again, the slow line and the fast line are running parallel. And we only have one bit of evidence here with a light red bar on the histogram here that says that it's easing up just a little bit, but not much. But that doesn't mean that as we work back towards the zero line, that the price can't fall below where we're sitting right now. So in summary, it's a 50-50. What's my play? My play is to wait and watch. I hope we have a big capitulation. If we do go down to the $10 to $12,000 BTC range, I'm going to buy some Bitcoin. I'll really continue to accumulate my top alt projects, which I will be reporting more about very soon. And you need to follow me on TikTok because I'm going to be doing a lot of short 2 to 3 minute videos on TikTok where I've decided I'm going to use that to report about the alts because it's so much easier for me to do in vertical mode from the smartphone screen. And I will be posting those video updates in my Telegram group that you can join. In my main group, link is below in the description. The main Crypto Pro Telegram group, we talk about Bitcoin and alts. And then I also have an NFT group for general NFT discussion and a VV NFT group. You're welcome to join all of those. So keep that in mind. And last but not least, let's bring up some fantastic supporters that are supporting the channel. We had some super thanks and a couple people that I want to mention here. Number one, we have South North with a super thanks contribution of $10 on the 14th of October. Thank you, South North, for continuing to support the channel. And we have a super thanks donation from Jeffrey Byron Dennis, my man, of $9.99 on the 16th of October. Thank you so much for helping me to defray the costs of producing this information, the content that I bring forward to you on the channel. It's expensive to pay for all of the royalties and rights to the music and the graphics and my expensive internet bill, which is going higher and higher every month. All of my bills are going up because of the inflation that is running out of control. So I want to thank you guys for supporting me, and I will continue to pump out the info and keep you up to date. And last but not least, I would love it if you would like, comment, and subscribe to the Crypto Pro channel. And hey, tell a friend, pass the word. Spread it out there. Let's grow the group and let's continue to have great discussions about the Bitcoin action. Join me in the comments below. We'll see you on Telegram where we have a family-friendly discussion. No cussing, no fussing, no fighting, no spamming links and selling stuff. It's just good, clean discussion about the TA and the action in the crypto market. That's all I've got for this update. Please stay tuned. More information you're coming your way. This is Carlton, and I am out.